Hello and welcome back to NoBS. Today we return to talking about those terrible social media influencers and people posting on Instagram trying to pretend to be activists during all this chaos. There's been a lot going on in America. You've heard the stories over and over again. No need to dive into that specifically, but today we're just talking about this special group again because we did a video about these wannabe activists and how they pose in front of these broken down stores, or they pretend to be screwing stuff in to walls that are boarding up stores to avoid more damage to happen in the streets. And they're basically trying to use these bad situations to get themselves likes and social media clout. They want to pretend they're in these events. They want to act like they're in a civil rights movement or saving the world or something, but really they're just there for the pictures. And you can see a few instances of people filming these influencers taking the pictures, like having their boyfriends take the picture. We actually went over two situations where that happened last week. And now one of those stories is coming back to light. Actually, a very bad turn of events happened for one of those girls, because the girl that did the screwdriver thing, we remember that one. She tried to pretend to screw drive something. She couldn't even hold a screwdriver right and just didn't do anything. It was just a photo op. And she got this guy who was working. She stopped him and had him help her with the screwdriver and stuff. It was a total mess. You know, it was very awkward and cringy and lame. But yeah, not the end of the world and not like the worst thing in the world you could do, but it definitely made a mark and got viral, and it spread across the internet. We talked about it. Other people made videos about it. It went all over Twitter. And actually, we have an update on that story because that girl recently got fired from her job. That's right. This sucks, and I don't wish this upon anyone, so I'm not trying to sound too excited about that, but the story is going on. The plot is thickening, if you will. So that made me want to cover this follow-up and talk about what happened and how this girl kind of made her own bed. She dug her own grave, shot herself in the foot, if you will. All those analogies I think are pretty relevant, maybe, I don't know, but I like to throw them out there to give you guys something cool to listen to. Nice little music to your ears, you know what I'm saying? But regardless, that's the story. The girl got fired, and she should have known better, really. And really, these guys don't deserve big punishments. Like, I'm not saying anything like that. I'm not trying to get anyone fired because God forbid, like someone I know or I lose a job or something. Like, I know how bad that is, but that's the story. That's what we're covering. And we're going to go over the details and why and how she could have avoided this. I mean, that was pretty easy to say right out the gate. She just shouldn't have done this picture. She shouldn't have been trying to get woke and post it on social media. Like, you got to be careful, especially depending on your job and where you work and what you do. Like, certain jobs require more privacy, more careful on your social media presence. And this is kind of the case. So here's the article that has the details. It says, Washington Examiner fires writer for taking a picture with a power drill in front of a boarded up store in LA as part of self-promotion stunt amid George Floyd protests. So yeah, you could see the bad look there and how this company can want to distance themselves from this. Like, that makes sense because they are a newspaper too. So she's working in the media. So she's working for a newspaper. She was a writer and she did a no-no, and it's actually something that could look really bad. And when you look into it, it's like, yeah, you're pretending, you're kind of piggybacking on this event. It's supposed to be meaning something. It's supposed to be like in honor of this Floyd guy who died, but it's kind of this kind of thing that she did. It's kind of disrespectful to the whole thing. It makes it look like a joke. It makes it look like they're just, you know, not really into it. They don't really care about the cause. Like, she even says BLM, like Black Lives Matter, in the video that we saw before. And it's just like, oh, you're just this woke activist wannabe posting. And when you work in the media, you kind of open yourself up for that. It sucks. But, you know, if you're a writer or a reporter or someone like that, you need to have a squeaky clean image. You can't get caught doing stuff like that. Now, granted, I think she wasn't like a high level. Like, I think she just got let go. But still, here are the details. It says, the Washington Examiner fired a journalist who posted a staged image of herself boarding up a store in LA. The conservative newspaper confirmed that it had terminated Fiona after the incident on Monday. Video that emerged of the staged photo was met with swift backlash from hundreds of people online condemning the self-promotional stunt. Critics pointed out that Moriarty McLaughlin had previously criticized protesters over Floyd's death. So she's kind of in the middle of this political thing too. Apparently, the Washington Examiner is a conservative paper. She's a conservative journalist. You know, it's typically someone that might be on our side, like agreeing with us. You know, conservatives might support Trump. I'm not sure what their actual stances are, But that's kind of another reason why she shouldn't have been saying BLM and kind of faking this promotional photo stunt. I mean, that's kind of more frowned upon in our communities. If she was in a left-wing paper, they probably would have given her a promotion or something, like left-wingers are all about that fake activism and talking like they care about all these minorities and stuff. Like they always want to go along with that. So it looks like she got caught up in a political thing too. And, like I said, it's unfortunate. I don't want anyone to lose their job. This is not something like I would advocate for. It is a little funny. It is a little interesting. I mean, I think it's worth talking about and confirming and getting the details and just showing that this is a bad move. Like, don't do this social media stuff, guys. Don't, try to take a picture in front of a protest. For one, you're going to get yourself in danger maybe if you're in the middle of it. I know she wasn't really in the middle of it. She was just like on the street, random guy boarding something up. And then she gets into her Mercedes, by the way, which was just another funny part of that video. But for now, let's get back into the details of the story. The Washington Examiner fired a conservative journalist after she posted a picture of herself online posing with a power drill outside a boarded up business in Los Angeles amid the protests. Fiona Moriarty McLaughlin, very long, drawn out name, was let go after video footage emerged of the staged image taken Monday, drawing a backlash from people who blasted her over the self-promotional stunt. A spokesperson for the Examiner confirmed that Moriarty McLaughlin was let go when DailyMail.com reached out. Fiona, a UC Santa Barbara senior, had been an intern at the Examiner. Yashir Ali, a contributor with the New York Magazine and Huffington Post, tweeted about Moriarty McLaughlin's termination Tuesday night. Here's the tweet. It says, "Facts with Fiona has been fired." Confirming that she lost her job. There's a picture of her. Nice looking girl, really. She seemed nice in the video, but she did a really dumb thing, and then she got caught on video doing it and went viral. I mean, you just got to be careful out there, especially when you're getting involved in these events. Like, the reason that she wanted to do this was because she knew she could get some positive attention. And what this shows is you got to watch out. There's a big chance you'll get negative attention too. So that goes along with these things. Like, you could get out there and say, for example, I could see another protester going out, like another white girl, and trying to say, hey, I love Black Lives Matter. I'm supporting you guys. Here's my sign. And then if they think they're going to get positive attention, but maybe their sign says the wrong thing, or they slip up and, just kind of patronize the minorities there or something, they could turn on them. There's a risk is what I'm getting at. She took the risk, but probably had no idea that this negative backlash could have happened. I think a lot of these girls are young and naive and not really thinking the whole thing through. For example, I actually had seen that there was a demonstration somewhere near where I live, and I considered going there. I was like, maybe I should go film something. Maybe I should go out and catch a little bit of it on camera. And I still might do that one day. Like, I'm not sure if you guys are interested, but it is a risk. And I decided not to that day because I'm like, maybe I'll get some footage, maybe not. It'll mostly be a waste of time. And on top of that, it's a risk. It's like you could get arrested. You could get yourself into an altercation with someone. People could want to take your camera. There's a lot of options. Now, granted, like I said, this girl was in a more safe situation. It was just a random store boarding up, but that meant that there was protest nearby, and her kind of doing this is playing with fire. She basically played with fire and got burnt, and she hoped to use that fire on her own. Like, fire can be a very helpful tool when you control it, but you got to recognize the danger. So she was trying to control the fire and get this picture and say that she's pro BLM. She helped support these people boarding stores up, like keeping their businesses safe. But that fire ended up turning on her, burning her, and now she's been totally scorched off the earth and lost her job and everything, and no one's going to forget about this story. In the footage taken of the stunt, a man believed to be Moriarty McLaughlin's boyfriend snaps a photo of her pretending to drill a hole into the wood before she thanked the construction worker, runs into a Mercedes-Benz, and drives off. Yeah, talk about sheltered and not really being related to these protests. In the background, someone sarcastically says, "Good job, guys, BLM." Hundreds of people online condemned Moriarty McLaughlin's actions as disrespectful and pointed out she had previously denounced protesters taking to the streets to demand justice for Floyd, a man who died on Memorial Day weekend. Commentators quickly identified Moriarty McLaughlin, whose Twitter bio described her as a commentary journalist with the Washington Examiner. The video posted to Twitter by EWU for the Loss racked up more than 24 million views. The the lady stopped someone boarding up a store in Santa Monica so she could hold a drill for a picture. And here's the original video again, so you guys can get a taste of that. We'd already described it and went over it, but it's quick. Basically, she's holding the drill. She also does a fake mask thing, like she puts the mask up just for the picture and takes it down. I noticed that. And then you can see the Mercedes and the nice car. They're driving away. They're kind of pausing and giving this guy, they're taking away from his job. You know, he's trying to work there. And yeah, I could see why this is an issue. And, you know, like we said, it's not the worst thing in the world. I wouldn't have asked for her to lose her job, but it's just a bad look, and no one should be doing this, but it keeps happening. Like, we already covered 2 of these cases. Here's a third one. This one's become almost as famous this week, too. It's like really done-up girls, you know, real big dresses and makeup and hair, and she's got this little sign. Like, you could tell they just walked out of a makeup session, and they're doing the sign in the street. It's so bad. It looks so bad. She's trying to jump in front of these protesters, and she's got her friend taking the picture. The only difference this time is instead of the boyfriend, usually the boyfriends are taking it, but this is, I guess, a girlfriend or someone else that's trying to get pictures too. It's just really bad look, and it's like, it's showing the kinds of people that turn out to these demonstrations. These things are not necessarily people that are trying to save the world, and they're trying to fight for equality, and I want to give everyone in the minorities all the attention they need. But really, a lot of these people are just doing it for attention for themselves. They're doing it for their own benefit. They're trying to feel better about themselves. They're trying to get involved and give themselves something to do. Usually they're bored, not having other stuff to do, or they just want to get in on the trend. You know, there's a lot of people talking about this still. It's going on in the news and the media, and they're trying to get in on that sort of hype. And, you know, one day they'll have a picture and they'll say, yeah, I was at the protest. Like I was saving the world. Like I was part of history. But they don't realize, and this is another thing they're not kind of noticing up front, like the whole playing with fire thing. They also don't realize that this is going to show that they're on the wrong side of history one day. Like people are going to look back on these events as bad things, like that tore apart our country when they didn't need to. They're going to think about how racist this was and how this was anti-white instead of being pro-black, and also it's anti-law and order in America. They are supporting criminals. They're protesting for criminals. They're becoming criminals themselves. The cops are getting in on it, either letting them do whatever they want, or when they do arrest them, they let the criminals go. So it's a bad situation, and I think these guys are going to show and pay for that in the future. That about wraps things up. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you comment your thoughts on everything below. Tell me what you think about these influencers, them posing for these fake pictures, these photo ops, and what do you think about the girl who got fired, and all that stuff. Comment below. Thank you for your time. Make sure you hit the like button too to get this video shared, and until next time, have a great day. Let me just take a quick moment to talk to you about my second channel. I recently relaunched and revamped No Bullshit 2, and it's now called NoBS News. I'm going to be doing new videos on there almost every day on weekdays, and then weekends we're going to be doing more live streams. So make sure you guys check out that second channel. There's already like say 10 or 12 more videos on there for you to check out right now. So if you want more content, search NoBS News on YouTube or click the link below this video.